We've made it. This is the last video. Hopefully, as long as there's not another lockdown. Let's keep our fingers crossed, people. We've made it. This is the last video that I'm going to be releasing because on Monday you are back in school and you get to listen to my voice in person. Aren't you lucky? So, many lessons later, many mistakes later, many jokes that I've laughed at but no one else has, we are here. Let's get this done. We are today finishing off looking at the Spiderwick Chronicles, and you are going to design your own creature, as I've promised all the way through the week. By the way, please make sure you go and watch the other activity that's been posted on Seesaw, which is the Masked Reader Giles Junior School version. I hope you enjoy it. I bet you can't guess who everyone is. Okay, today we're going to be looking at creative vocabulary as part of designing your own creature. What do I mean by creative vocabulary? Well, just don't pick the first word that comes into your head. Think and pick better words. It's about using an online dictionary, an online thesaurus, using your brain to come up with some better words. Instead of using, I don't know, pointy, you might use sharp. You might say razor sharp, even better. I want to have a quick look at this creature, because today I know what it's like. When you're thinking of your creature, you might not be able to draw it, and that's fine. You can use one of my creatures that I'm going to show you. Now have a look at it. For each body part, I want you to write words or phrases to describe it. We'll then see how we can take this and turn it into a powerful sentence. So what I'd like you to do is to pause the video and write down any words that you can think of to describe any part of that rather wonderfully weird and mysterious lion unicorn thing. Wolf. Off you go. Okay, so what words could we use to describe this rather strange hybrid animal? Well, we could use sharp for its teeth. We could use fierce. We could use, it's almost glowing. What else could we use? Well, we've got some flowing going on there. It's quite menacing. Lots of different words we could use to describe that bizarre creature. Now, words and phrases. So here's some of the ones that I came up with. We have pointed, flowing, purple like fire, majestic, ethereal. Oh, that's a nice word. Flower like, fire like, tendrils. Now, do I want all of those words? No. The first word I came up with was pointed. But was that my best word? Well, no, because if I have a look over here, ethereal, for example, is a much better word. Majestic is much better. I've got flower-like. I've even got the hyphen in there from yesterday. I need to be selective. So I'm thinking I like flowing, I like ethereal, I like tendrils. And now I'm thinking, how can I turn that into a sentence? So my final sentence would be, the ethereal purple hair flows like fiery tendrils. So I've gone from words, I've then picked a few words and turned that into a pretty good sentence. Now this week we've covered a few different ways you can use to describe a creature. And today when you're describing your own creature, you're going to need to use all of them. I know. What a challenge. So, here's what we have covered so far. One of them is being obscured by my face. We have subordinate clauses, hyphens underneath my face, creative vocabulary, which is what I just showed you, and parenthesis. Can you remember what they are? I don't know why I keep asking questions to the screen. You think by now I would realise you can't actually answer me. Anyway, subordinate clause. Okay, so a subordinate clause is a part of a sentence that does not make sense on its own. Now, for the purpose of today, your subordinate clause should or could go at the beginning of a sentence, which would make it a fronted adverbial. So, I could do something like, in the flash of an eye, comma, because we need to put a comma. In the flash of an eye, the beast pounced. The subordinate clause is the part at the beginning because it does not make sense on its own. Underneath my face here is a hyphen. We're going to go through those in a second, but a hyphen is to link two words together. It looks a bit like a dash, but it's a hyphen. Two words together that are closely linked. Now, when would you use that? Well, you might use it for words like razor sharp. If you say anything is like something, so if it was, for example, wolf-like, if your creature is wolf-like, you would use a hyphen. Or if you're describing a colour, and that's what I would recommend you do. So you might have, like we talked about yesterday, midnight black. And that will work absolutely fine. Now we have parenthesis. Now, again, parenthesis is kind of like a subordinate clause. It can go anywhere in a sentence. However, the most common place you'll see it is in the middle of a sentence. So I'm going to use the example I've used many times before, but I'm going to use it because it works. So Mr. Kent, because I love talking about myself, Mr. Kent, comma, who likes coffee, because it's all I think about, especially at this time of night, who likes coffee, comma, drank his third cup of the morning. Okay, parenthesis gives us extra information, but again it can be taken out and the rest of the sentence will still make sense. Now, creative vocabulary is basically me just saying, don't pick the first word comes into your head. Try and think about other words. Now, if you're not sure about other words, you can go and use the internet. I do. Go and find a thesaurus, type in other words for whatever, and you'll find some answers. I don't know why you would type like this, but you get the idea. You can tell it's getting towards the end of these videos. I'm just wittering on more than normal. Subordinate clauses, what we just spoke about. Now, as the sun was setting, the beast stalked her prey. As I just said, for you for today, your subordinate clause should go at the beginning. A bit like a fronted adverbial. Going to go there, at the beginning, comma in between. You must have a comma. Don't have a comma, not going to work. Not often. Not often. It is always. There we go. Parenthesis adds extra information to a sentence. Usually this is in the middle, and I would suggest you do it in the middle. Like a subordinate clause, it can be taken away and the sentence will still make sense. You can use it with commas. You can use it with brackets. You can use it with dashes, not hyphens, dashes. Up to you which one you'd use. Brackets are the most common. I would say brackets work quite well. But equally you can use commas. Dashes are not very, you don't tend to use those very often. Hyphens. 3 main ways you would use a hyphen. Number 1, use when describing a colour. Moss green, dark green, ocean blue. Number 2, hyphens could be used when saying something is like something. So rabbit-like, fox-like, car-like. So your creature, a nice easy one for you to tick that box would be to say it's, I don't know, wolf-like, dragon-like, lion-like, whatever your creature is going to be like. Hyphens can be used way number 3, is to link 2 words together that are closely connected. So lightning quick, well made, razor sharp, white hot. Don't worry if you're not sure about that, because I've got some examples that you can use later on. Now today, you're either going to design your own creature and label it with the sheet I'm going to show you in a minute, or you can pick one of my pre-drawn creatures to do instead, and I honestly don't mind. The outcome of today is for you to take a creature and describe it, showing me you can do all of the things that we have looked at this week. And of course, it's to give you the chance to design your own. Now, here are some possible creatures you might choose to use, and the way that the picture is at the moment. It looks like I'm kind of coming out of the one on the side. So I'm just going to sort of angle myself. Hold on. Like, no, wrong way. Like that. No. There we go. I look like a winged creature of some... I need these videos to stop. Okay, so you could pick one of these if you want to, or you could sort of take bits from it and use it to make your own creature. I honestly don't mind. Mr. Kent, can we draw our creature? Yes, you can draw your creature. Mr. Kent, do we have to draw it on Seesaw? No, it's a nightmare to draw on Seesaw. You can just draw it. I know some people already that are going to want to draw it in their art books and that, or any book they've got at home, and that's absolutely fine. You can draw it wherever you want and then do the sentences I'm about to show you in a second. So, if you want to, and this will be on Seesaw, if you want to use the lion creature, then it will be on Seesaw. You don't need to draw anything. What you would then need to do is you need to name it, and you need to write a sentence. Well, you need to write 4 sentences to describe the creature. This sentence you need to use a subordinate clause. This sentence you need to use parenthesis. This sentence use a hyphen. And this sentence use creative vocabulary. Now I need to be really clear on this. Each one should be a sentence, not just a couple of words. You need to write a full sentence with the thing in it that I've asked you to put in it. So don't just put here, I don't know, moss green, because that's the hyphen you're thinking of. We're not going to do that. We would say the creature, or beast, whatever you want to put, the creature has moss green fur. Okay, full sentences, please. Year 6, you can definitely do full sentences. This will also be on Seesaw. If you want to use my template, you can draw your creature on and then do the sentences. Equally, you can just do it on a blank piece of A4 paper, draw your creature in the middle, and then around it, do sentences for each of these. You need to do the sentences even if you're drawing it. Please. Thank you. Now, if you're stuck for ideas of what to write and what to describe, I have put this on here, and it's got lots of different bits you could steal to describe different parts of your creature. And please do feel free to use it if you would like to. Okay, all of that will be on Seesaw for you, but again, you can just draw it if you prefer. I would like to finish by saying thank you very much for sticking with me all the way through this. I've released goodness knows how many videos now, many mistakes in them. It's been a real pleasure doing it. I've really enjoyed it, although I am going to look forward a lot to seeing you in person, and I hope you found them to be okay. Thank you so much for all your hard work. I will see you on Monday. Goodbye.